Is your spark your purpose? Hello, welcome to Just My Thoughts. I'm your host, Khaleel Ward. On this episode, I'll be talking about the new Disney Pixar movie, Soul. The movie stars Jamie Foxx, Felicia Rashad, Tina Fey. You follow Joe Gardner. He's the new Pixar character. He's a middle school band teacher, but he's also a jazz musician. And his goal in life, his purpose, is to make it in a jazz band and, play different places and just, wow the crowd because he loves jazz music. He kind of gets that across to the kids, when, they aren't performing really well, but he starts playing and he's, explaining why he fell in love with the music. And it captures their attention for a second, but then it's right back to reality as middle school children tend to be. They just really honest, with you and with themselves sometimes. And they don't really like it that much. Right after he gets the call to be in this band in this show, he kind of disappears. He ends up in this place called the Great Before. So it's not the Great Beyond. He's not essentially dead. He's in the Great Before. He's a mentor. And he doesn't know how he got there. All he wants to do is get back to his body, get back to Earth, get back to this gig. That's the main reason, his main reason for living. And they in the movie they kind of explain it as he's in a holding pattern, before he goes to the great beyond. And he's around all these new souls, and the new souls are finding their personalities, and they have to find their spark before they can go to Earth. And Joe meets Tina Fey's character, Soul 22. And Soul 22 has been there a long time. She says she's been there thousands of years. She's had a bunch of mentors from Mother Teresa, Muhammad Ali, Abraham Lincoln, Gandhi. And she's basically, her thing is to torment the mentor, and then the mentor sends her back. She doesn't want to go to Earth. So they try to work together. Joe wants to get back. Soul 22 doesn't really want to leave. So if he can help her find her spark, he can get an Earth pass and go back to his life. And the two go on this adventure, not just in the Great Before. They make it back to Earth, and they start to learn a lot about the world around them. Joe has his routine. He's lived his life already, and he's familiar with certain things, but he starts to learn a lot about his life and the people around him. And Soul 22 gets a better understanding of what Earth is. She's only seen Earth from a distance, or heard about Earth from all the different mentors she's come across throughout the years. So now she gets to experience it and get a better understanding of people in general. And I think that's the main message in this movie is, don't always think like the thing you love is like your purpose in life. It begs you to ask questions, talk to people, do something different. I really like the atmosphere in this movie. It's in New York City, and the animation style is it's different from all the other animated movies I've ever watched. It really captures the essence of Black people. A lot of people are going to talk about the barbershop scene, and it's just like a real barbershop. The way they interact with each other, the way the barber tells him, like, when you sit in this chair, you just open up. You start talking. It's like therapy in a way, for people when they go to the barbershop and they just can talk to the barber, or you have what they call quote unquote barbershop talk. And it's usually, about sports or, music. And it's or from the outside, it may look like an argument, but it's just intense dialogue, passionate dialogue, amongst people, amongst friends. And, they have moments in this particular movie where they're talking and, one person says something and everybody laughs out loud. And that happens in the barbershop. And it was cool to see that. And back to like the animation style, just the way every character looked, they all look really, really different. And I think they really put an emphasis on that, with this being the first Black, lead in a Pixar movie. They just put the emphasis on capturing Black identity, just the way everybody was moving and just talking and the look. That's the thing I kept going back to, is the look of this particular movie. And just like how Inside Out focused on emotions, and they did a good job of explaining that, so kids can get a better understanding. this movie focuses on other things in life, other aspects of life. They talk about when you get in the zone, when you're doing something, and they show that, and it was cool to see. The movie is really funny. Um, there's NYC humor that some people may not get. That I was just laughing at, just certain things that were going on in the movie. And Tina Fey and Jamie Foxx, the chemistry between the two characters was really fun. I like when they were in the Great Before. I like when they come back to Earth and just the dynamic they have of going back and forth. Fish out of water, not understanding everything. It was a good time. It was a good movie. It's definitely a family movie, where kids will get entertained and, they can laugh and have fun. But then, Pixar always has that adult message in there. And, it makes you ask the question, is your spark your purpose? And it's a really good question. So I highly recommend Soul. If you haven't watched it, check it out. Let me know what you thought about it. Thank you for listening.